you have the same monomer. If you choose a different catalyst and a different reaction pathway, it will follow, it will end up with a specific product. While if you choose a different route, means preparation technique, with a different catalyst, you will end up with another type of product. Product quality will be different, but the same polymer, suppose ethylene. Ethylene, you are having polymer ethylene. Okay. Just 1 minute. Okay. So you are having this ethylene monomer to produce polyethylene, right? Okay. Now this polyethylene, to produce this polyethylene, we have many routes, which means if you wish to make it a straight chain, that will give you a different type of product, and if you make it branch chain, it will different type of product. You have heard the name of low density polyethylene and high density polyethylene. These two are two different products. Can follow? Which means polyethylene, low density polyethylene is very low and some specific applications, while high density polyethylene is hard, is durable, is chemical resistant, and use some other purposes, robust purposes. As for example, you wish to throw your rubbish, right? Rubbish means your that kitchen rubbish, and you are choosing a polymer which can be a low density polymer, LDHP, or low density LDPE density. Now, this low density polyethylene, you are collecting the garbage, right? After that, when you throw it, where do you throw? In another bin, long, that is your very strong, that is made of high density polyethylene, HDPE, high density polyethylene. In the garbage room, you will find that this very robust, this your polymer, that is your container, that is high density polyethylene container. Now see that both, if these two both are ethylene, from ethylene monomer, but different nature, different structures, and thereby they have got different properties, right? So how can it be that when our monomer is same, that means the process itself is different, and these different processes are carried out by different catalysts using different catalysts. Can follow me? So the polymer is precipitated when the catalyst is destroyed on addition of water. When we do a polymerization reaction with this catalyst, we want to stop the polymerization reaction. So we do this polymerization by adding water, because it is and then after that it stops. There is a mechanism for this. We need to the chain propagation and terminate the chain to give us that polymer product by adding large amount of water. Okay. Because it is linear chain, if it is linear chain, the polymer molecules are able to pack together closely, giving the polymer a high melting point and density than the polymers produced by free radical mechanism. Just 1 minute. Somebody has scared me. No problem. Okay. All right. So if it is a linear chain polymer, that is, you're giving the polymer higher melting point, higher density than the polymers produced by free radical mechanism using free radical initiator as the catalyst. So the first one we are talking about The linear chain polymer is that I am talking about. That one is that high density. As for example, there are many cases actually. So for high density and low density polyethylene, when we have different properties from that, this high density polyethylene polymers can be used for children's toys in the playground. We have the playground, the various chairs or right. The children play that. So that one is polymer. It's not your light polyethylene. Light polyethylene we have everywhere. We can see packaging materials, and very light, thin polymers, right? So that has got different applications. So how can we make that one? If we produce this linear chain by using, suppose, this Ziegler-Natta catalyst, it will give you a product that is also can have to give stereochemical control using this Ziegler-Natta catalyst, a different catalyst. But if we use a different other catalyst like your peroxide, it will give you low density or other oxides, other low density polyethylene. And the high density and low density polyethylene is that, because here is the chain, right? Now if we have branches here, if it is long branch here, it's okay, just single branch is fine. But if it is here branch again, is this again branching, again somewhere you're branching, somewhere here is branching. If there are many branches from the main polymer chain, we have one, it is here is the vacancy is the light polymer, light polyethylene, that means your low density polyethylene. We can control this one using a different catalyst. If we use a different catalyst, which means a different polymerization process also, that is, if it is free radical polymerization using any of the initiator like your peroxides, it will give you this low density polyethylene. But if you use Ziegler-Natta catalyst, it will give you high density polyethylene. Can follow me? So radical polymerization uses radical initiators, and which acts as the catalyst. For example, the polymerization of chloroethane is started by warming it with a trace of peroxide. So this peroxide first is that initiator. It will produce free radical, and once free radical is generated, it will hit the monomer. Your monomer is CH2 CHCl, that is chloroethene. So when it's attacked by this free radical, it will start propagating, double bond is broken, generate another free radical, this monomer, right? And once this free radical is generated, it's unstable, very much unstable. It goes on until it's stable by another free radical attack, and this chain is terminated like this here. It's terminated now, right? So this termination occurs depending on your concentration of the monomer, concentration of your suppose this initiator, the time, means how long you are doing it, and when you are stopping this one, the reaction, right? We can use, suppose, water. If we bring large amount of water, it may just stop this one. There are many mechanisms, in fact, for this stopping the polymerization reaction, right? So based on our desired product, we allow the polymerization chain to grow. Now it's not in our hand. In fact, it will form itself. Suppose here it's that long chain. After that, any free radical can come and attack this radical from somewhere here, and this may be terminated, and another one can hit this chain. It's finished. Suppose this one is finished. Although finished, another free radical can attack this one and can start, initiate, right? So polymerization is a random thing. So many branches are possible to get from this polymer chain, and when many branches, this is a lightweight of polymer. uh, and if it is straight chain crystalline form, it's giving you higher strength, higher density, means very robust nature of this polymer. So in this case of ethene, by using free radical polymerization, we will have lower density and lower softening point polymer than if we produced polyethylene or polyethene, that is using Ziegler Natta catalyst or any metallic oxide. All right. So these reactions lead to side chains so that the molecules of the polymer cannot pack together in a regular way. When this is the case, we have the polymer having lower melting point, lower density, everything is in low, right? So that is, this low density polyethylene comes from this your free radical polymerization, any initial peroxide that is used for this catalyst. Anyway, so many polymers are there, and their polymers are here. This many catalysts are used for this different catalysts we have. So what are the catalysts? One is that previously we used Ziegler Natta, right? Ziegler Natta I discussed. Ah. So this one is that the catalysts are prepared from titanium compounds with an aluminum trialkyl, which acts as that promoters. If you look at it, so we have TiO2, titanium dioxide, with this your any other metals like aluminum, titanium compounds with aluminum trialkyl. It's RRR alkyl groups, aluminum, together with TiO2, and to get this is a combined one. So this is your Ziegler Natta catalyst. Two scientists worked on this and they received this Nobel Prize. So, all right, because it has got many roles. Titanium will play a different role, and your aluminum uh, trialkyl will play another role. Can follow? That's why it's these two catalysts are working in a different way than alone. Suppose, why not titanium dioxide alone? It cannot produce the aluminum trialkyl is helping it to take it in different shape. It will also, we may not be interested in that product, rather the products produced by them, this is of our interest. All right. So this one Ziegler Natta at least, okay, done. So I go back to another slide. Good. Okay. All right. We have, here's that photocatalyst. Now we'll talk about this environmental catalysts, which means use for the environment in the production of, suppose, oxygen and hydrogen from water splitting into oxygen and hydrogen. There are many photochemical reactions whereby catalysts are used. So these are the photocatalysts in presence of your light, used in presence of light. So that has different mechanism because light initiate that catalyst in a different way, and that your reaction. So that another one is that we'll talk about that your pollution, your car exhaust or the motorcycle exhaust that we are using that one. So we'll come to that later. We see that what are the photocatalysts. So in stream, photocatalysis is the acceleration of a photochemical reactions in presence of a catalyst. In catalysis, light is absorbed by an absorbed substance. So in photogenerated catalyst, photocatalytic activity of the catalyst to create radicals. So hydroxyl free radical are able to undergo secondary reactions. So this hole pair is with the help of light. So in practical application, possible by the discovery of TiO2 titanium oxide. Now you can hear that oxygen shortage, right? In India, a great demand of now for treating COVID-19 patients. They are really struggling to produce oxygen, pure oxygen, for our human beings, right? So this one, we can get oxygen and hydrogen, right? In presence of separation band, and the conduction band electrons will jump to this conduction band, and there will be remaining holes. So that will be and there is radical oxygen. Later it will various reactions. So one of that, if we split water, there is one what your to split this one, right? Oxygen and hydrogen will get from the electrons of water. This is under UV or this light, also using X. All right. So if a photocatalyst is a uses light energy to facilitate a chemical reaction. In presence of light matter, we have in the moisture, in the atmosphere, we have moisture. So light and water. Suppose chlorophyll leaves, right? Light to get in, we have. Now it's raining, you know, that outside. Water is everywhere present in the atmosphere, right? In the form of moisture. So the light and this in presence of this light, this together with this chlorophyll, and is typical natural catalyst. Chlorophyll captures some turns water and carbon dioxide is in the, and water is also in the air. right? As I told you, now I see that here it's already started raining. Okay. So it will produce this starch plus oxygen organ found anyway. So it take the carbon dioxide from the environment inside this chlorophyll will produce your oxygen and glucose. This oxygen is this food. Okay. Other than that, many other or applications are there here. Just a minute. Yes. All right. So here we have is organic pollutant, right? And this hydroxyl group produced by get means your electron and hydroxyl group. It will of that to these organic pollutants, and these organic pollutants turn into harmless like carbon dioxide. This one, but it's not doing any harm like your. It's very true, but it will be taken by leaves by trees. So in sense, we can say it harmless. However, if a lot of carbon dioxide, then it's not harmless. Increasing the temperature, warming is due to the presence of carbon dioxide. Right? To plant a lot to make the world green, then this count. But we are at the same, destroying this forest and wheeling vehicles, right? So carbon dioxide is there and can be converted because we think that means we are destroying the forest, right? So we need to take care of it. Not only kill the bacteria cells, also decompose the itself. So titanium dioxide photocatalyst found to be more effective than any other chemical agent. So TiO2 is widely used as a catalyst. So deodorizing effect, hydroxyl radicals accelerate the breakdown of any volatile compounds, VOC. There are a range of chemical compounds are listed as volatile organic compounds. Many chemicals are there under this one. It's just all over us. That means is in the environment. So we need to this one. This photocatalyst help us. So this will help bind the organic gases to form a single molecule that is harmful to human and thus enhance the air cleaning efficiency. To harmless product. 1 minute, please. Somebody has. Just now I saw some 17 or 18 anyway. Somebody, uh, 17 again joined. Because of this, connection, you will be lost from the system, huh? And we find that somebody has left, right? You may find myself as well sometime, because in my other class I found that I am thrown away. So again I came back. Anyway, okay. When the organic or original building materials are coated with a photocatalyst, a protective film of titanium provides the self-cleaning building by becoming antistatic, superoxidative, and hydrophilic. So we have this, suppose, layer titanium compounds, and it helps us, right? Right. If you see that photocatalyst used for treating the wastewater, the photocatalyst coupled with UV lights under the sunlight, photocatalyst, if it is there, can oxidize organic pollutants in non-toxic materials such as CO2, water, and can disinfect certain bacteria. So we can disinfect the harmful bacteria. We can convert the pollutants into carbon dioxide and water, because pollutants, if it is hydrocarbon based, of course it will produce carbon dioxide and water. But if it is heavy metals or other things, different, right? So we have many pollutants are here in varieties, organic pollutants, inorganic pollutants, right? So this technology is very effective at removing further hazardous organic compounds. uh, TOC is that total oxygen carbon. Uh, yeah, TOC is another name for total organic carbon, right? Okay. Or I'm not sure. We have to check again. The toxic organic chemicals can also be TOC. Okay. And another term is there, TOC, total organic carbon, I think. Anyway, that is your organic compounds that's not harmful. So we need to treat this one, and killing at a very bacteria and various viruses also in the secondary wastewater treatment. Now, how it does this type of thing, we have heard the story of that. Now the mechanism is different, right? So we see that this is your photochemical reaction. Okay, we are degrading dyes using TiO2 catalyst, that is photocatalyst. TiO2 in presence of light, it must be working in presence of light. Now if you see that the conversion of CO2 into gaseous hydrocarbons in presence of water. So once we are generating CO2 from the exhaust, we can convert this one into hydrocarbons, gaseous hydrocarbons in presence of water. So at present, proposed reaction mechanisms usually suggest the creation of a highly reactive carbon radical from carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, which then reacts with the photo-generated protons to ultimately form methane, right? And methane, as you know, again we can use it as a fuel, right? Methane gas. You have the gas cylinder in the market is available. Gas cylinders, this contains what? Methane, mostly methane, and some portion of ethane. Ethane, maybe propane also, but mostly is methane. So sterilization of surgical instruments and removal of unwanted fingerprints from sensitive electrical and optical components like your surgical your instruments. It needs to be ultra clean, not only clean but ultra clean, absolutely clean. So contaminants So nanoparticle photocatalyst nowadays that can be used as a photocatalyst. So they have high activity. So a good photocatalyst with high activity is that it should be small in size. The size should be small. Big surface area, big, not big, large. Put it large. Okay. Large surface area, shape and size of interactive surface, absorption potential, all these should be possessed by a photocatalyst. That should be a good photocatalyst. This is the criteria for this photocatalyst. Of course, photocatalytic activity must be there. Otherwise, if you have very large surface area, shape and size interactive surface, absorption potential is there, but it cannot work in presence of light, then it is not a photocatalyst. So usually TiO2 is well established photocatalyst. So a breakthrough in photocatalyst research occurred in 1972 when Akira Fujishima and Kenichi Honda discovered electrochemical photolysis of water occurring between connected TiO2 and platinum electrodes, in which ultraviolet light was absorbed by the former electrode TiO2 and the electrons would flow from TiO2 electrode to platinum electrode. That means anode and cathode we have where the electrons move from anode and is absorbed at that cathode. So at the anode oxidation occurs and at the cathode reduction occurs. At the cathode will have hydrogen production because hydrogen ion or this proton will come to this cathodic compartment, cathode electrode, and take this electron, become hydrogen gas. On the other hand, this oxygen will be produced at that other end. Okay, I'll show you this one. Anyway, I'm coming to this. So this was one of the first instances in which hydrogen production could overcome from a clean and cost-effective source, as the majority of hydrogen production back at that time and still today comes from natural gas reforming and gasification. However, we can split water into hydrogen and oxygen, right? So here hydrogen goes in the atmosphere at the cathode, while at the anode we get this oxygen. So photocatalyst convert H2O into hydrogen through oxidation process with light irradiation. The example of efficient photocatalyst in the UV range is based on a sodium tantalite doped with lanthanum and loaded with a co-catalyst nickel oxide. So these are the photocatalysts apart from TiO2. We have a lot of photocatalysts, not only TiO2 alone. So here we get this fresh oxygen, and this oxygen nowadays is very much required for treating that COVID-19 patients. And India is really facing a very tough situation. Every day, a lot of people are dying because of lack of oxygen supply. Okay, so solar water disinfection, we can treat the swimming pool water or any other water, right, for our drinking purpose. So this is that contaminated water can be treated with this photocatalyst. So disinfection of water by supported photocatalysts. Photocatalyst reaction kills the bacteria inside water with oxidation process. So advancement of photocatalyst, Fujishima's and Honda's findings have led to other advances in photocatalysis. In 1977, discovered that the incorporation of a noble metals in the electrochemical photolysis process, such as platinum and gold, among others, could increase photoactivity, and that can external potential was not required for that. External potential was not required. So it's that good invention. Good means you're very good in this research work. That future research conducted by Wagner and Somorjai and Sakata and Kawai in 1998 and 1981 respectively reported the production of hydrogen on the surface of strontium titanase. Right? Titanate, strontium titanase is a Yeah. I connection and then found that means my internet in just it from this laptop. Actually, I got some problem. Uh, Previously, I faced the same thing. Huh. Sometimes it's good, okay, but sometimes it's out of your connection. So this time today it's happened just now anyway. So we in fact finished that lecture. I'll upload this one, that one that is just now. Okay. So I had in mind to continue just to start. However, I think better we start in the next class. This is week 8, right? End of 14th week, this 13th week 13, we'll have a test, right? Okay for you? When do you like to take the test? Is it okay for you on week 13?
Is it final test or just a test?
Mm-hmm. Again, please, couldn't hear you.
Is it for the final test or just a test, doctor?
No, test is not final exam. Final exam, that is exam. We call it exam, right? Another one is test. Test, quizzes, these are your continuous assessment or any assignments, right? So
Okay, doctor.
understand. So if it is exam, that is a bit different. Different means final exam, and test is that continuous. Your quizzes, maybe your assignments. Somebody can have presentation. Many forms are there whereby we have some percentage as that continuous assessment. Rest will come from that final exam. So final exam will be exam week. It will be announced later. But for this test, we can conduct at any time in this lecture period. That is week 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, 14th, any week. So when are you free? That means I feel that if I make it at the end of the semester, whereby the student can have a thorough revision before the final exam. So it is good for you, right? Hmm? So I'm proposing it on the 13th week. Same time, same class. I will upload the question in the Spectrum and you will answer this one within the time period given. And okay,
Okay,
before that, I
doctor.
will inform you of this is the final, just preliminary discussion. Later, I will tell you that exact your information in the sector. So, any question, please? If you have any question, if not, then watch. If you have any question later, just inform me. Okay, email me, send in the group, your WhatsApp group. You can also inform me or call me, give me personal text also, no problem. All right, email is there. Okay.
Okay, doctor.